Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Maplewood Farm. So we're still working on grass, but we're going to switch it up a little bit. And yeah, this thing, I mean, we own it, right? Let's use it. I hadn't even thought about it. We've got so many other things going on as far as grass. We started with silage bales, and then we moved into hay bales. And I'll show you what we got going on over here as far as hay bales. These little things, oh, they are hateful. They're tiny, man, and there's a lot of them. But I got them all rounded up. They're not very big. This is 20, I don't know, 24 bales or something. But it's really not. It's not like 24 bales. It's more like 12 bales. So we'll need to sort something out there. Those need to go to the dairy barn. This thing right here is full of chaff. I'm going to take this to the composter. And what's interesting about this, I just filled it, and as I was driving, as I was picking up the chaff, and also this loading wagon does have the option to use silage additive. The tank is full, but I was not injecting it because it's not going to make silage, it's going to make compost. And I thought, do we need it? Do we need the additive if it's going to make compost rather than silage? But next time we use it, we can inject if we're going to be dumping in silage bunker. So that's one thing. The other thing that's interesting about this trailer on here, this loading wagon, is it has to be positioned properly, in that you have to adjust the angle of it so the pickup is making contact, adequate contact, and the maximum speed is only 2 to 3 miles per hour. So it's a very I wouldn't say demanding, but it's a little tricky. You can't just speed around at 12 or 15 miles an hour and fill the thing up. If you go too fast, it just misses a lot of what's on the ground as far as in the row, and then you need to go back and hit that row again, that windrow. You have to hit it again to get everything that's in it. Now, if some of you are familiar with the Mengele loading wagon, that's the one that has the blades that if you go too fast, the blades get clogged up and you have to hop out and manually like pull the material out of them with your hand. This is similar to that, but it doesn't have that clogging function, which honestly I wish you could have had an option to disable it. I found it pretty tedious. I like the idea of the equipment being demanding is the word that keeps popping into mind, but like, you know what I mean? You have to be realistic with it. It just doesn't work properly otherwise. But I always thought the pickup loading up and getting clogged was a little too realistic. So this is, I think, a nice balance, but it is definitely it's not too slow. In fact, when we come back, I'll do just a little bit on camera just to show you, but I won't do, because it probably takes 10 or 15 minutes to fill the thing. You have to go very, very slow. So I'll do just a little bit to show you. And also I want to confirm that our silage additive injector is working. I can't see why it wouldn't be, but I wanted to check it out. Then when we get back, we're going to hop in our forager, our forage harvester. And I have a sort of a decision to make. And I'll show you when we get back. You know, I want to be realistic, and there are times when I'm farming where it's not, how do I want to say this? I see that there are ways to do things that will work in game, and I'm like, can you do that in real life? Is that okay? And not just like, will it technically work? I mean, you can put a baler on a combine harvester and make bales, right? But just because it will work doesn't mean that's ever done in real life. It's just not, as far as I know, it can't work because there's no PTO coming off the back of a combine harvester. But it'll work in game, you know, but it's like that doesn't make it okay. So what I want to, I guess, ask you about when I get over to the forage harvester, there's an option to do things a certain way, and I don't know if you could do it that way in real life, I guess is what I'm asking. So we'll see when we get over there, but in the meantime, I've done a bunch of things off camera. I've been farming for a couple hours now, and I mean, I never mind. I love farm sim, so I never mind farming, but it is I don't know, it's a little different to see like what it takes to get these episodes ready. And I'm telling you, the deeper I get into having a YouTube channel, the more respect I have for all the people that I've been watching for all these years. They make it look easy, which I guess is the sign of any, like, I don't want to say artist. Is that the right, does that apply? I guess it applies. Any creative person, anybody who does something well. I think the mark of really being able to do something well is when you make it look easy. And I have to say, a lot of sim gamers on YouTube, they really do make it look easy. Because now, trying to do it myself, it's not easy. It's not hard. I mean, it's not like digging for coal or anything, but it is not like it's not like I thought it would be, and it's certainly not like just casual gaming. So it's not. I'm not complaining when I say that. It's not. It's definitely not hard work, as far as some of the hard work that I've done in my life. But it takes a little bit more thought and a little bit more planning than I anticipated. And like I said, I really have a lot of respect for YouTubers that make it look easy, because I know it's not, and they kill it, man. They are awesome. Let's take a look. I assume we have some compost has already come out over here, because we've got fuel in here, and we've been putting material in. Cool. So we've got 20,000 liters, give or take, of compost, and now this thing is. Did I see some exhaust coming out of there? I thought I did. Yep. Okay, so that's running. Let's take this back over. I'll do a quick row just to show you what I'm talking about. And then we'll hop in the forage harvester and I'll show you what I'm talking about there as well. So, I've said this the past few episodes. I'm probably, unfortunately, going to have to say it for another few episodes. If you are following what's going on in North Carolina, if you're in the U.S. and you're following what's going on, it's really bad. If you're overseas, it's still really bad, but it might not be on your news the way it is here. But folks are really hurting in North Carolina, and it's getting worse. The hurricane has passed, the storm itself, but now it's just a lot of rain and flooding. So if you're looking to help out, please do look up a reputable charity, folks that you trust, and send some love their way, because they could really use it. They are hurting, and it's weird for me. I don't want to be one of those people that no matter what happens, they turn it and they make it somehow about themselves. And at the same time, I think a really good way to understand anything is to try to imagine what that would be like for you. So where I am, I'm just north of where the really bad stuff is, but we've got local flooding here, and we've got roads closed, and things have been, I guess, mildly disrupted for 4 or 5 days. Not terribly, just mildly. And it's little things like the trash hasn't been getting picked up. Or, well, I guess it has been, but it's been a little bit delayed. And it's very humid, everything is soaked, there's water everywhere. So it's really muggy and sticky. And now it stinks. It stinks like garbage everywhere. And I was going to get breakfast this morning, and a garbage truck came around the corner. And because it's been raining so much, like every sort of vessel, like anything that could hold water, is full of water right now because it's been raining so much. So as this garbage truck came around the corner, a bunch of water slopped out the top of it. And I'd say it was maybe 10 or 15 gallons of water. I mean, it was a decent amount, but it wasn't like hundreds of gallons, but it was a decent amount of water. And it was all full of garbage, like rotting material. And I know this because after it went past, I had to like step across this. And it's in the street, and there's really nothing I can do to like clean it up or anything. But now out in front of my hotel, there's like rotting garbage all over the street. It really, really stinks. And I mean, it stinks everywhere. I feel like we haven't been able to get our garbage picked up as timely as we normally do because of all the rain. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm just making the observation. And so I'm sort of taking this in, and I'm thinking like, wow, it's not quite a quality of life issue, but it's in the neighborhood, it's in the neighborhood of this is really kind of nasty. And I think I am experiencing right now like 5% 10% of what people down south are going through. And when I say down south, I mean just 50 or 100 miles south of me. You know, what they're going through. There are people that lost their homes in Matthew, which was 2 years ago. And I don't know if you've ever lost your home. I have. And it takes a long time. So let's switch gears here a little bit. So you can see the angle this thing is at. And you need to get it kind of on the low. And I'll test this just a little bit. Yeah, if you have it up here, it really won't pick up. It has to be like kind of right down there. Also got to adjust the dead zone from my camera stick because it tends to move on its own. So then we'll lift that back up, turn this on, and we're going to set the cruise control for 2 miles per hour. Sounds ridiculous, but you'll see. So what I'll do is I'll do a couple rows. Well, I won't do full rows. I won't do full lengths, but I'll do a couple areas the way you need to, and then I'll show you what happens if you try to get clever with it. Oh, and one more thing. I did want to turn on silage additive, so that is Z key. Is that right? Here we go. Okay, so we are injecting silage additive, and you can see it's picking up everything that is available to be picked up. So we get turned around here. So I guess what I'm saying is you lose your home and you don't just get it back. I mean, you need to live with relatives, you need to live in a hotel, you need to, I mean, it's no fun when you don't have a house that you had. So let's say you had insurance, and Matthew was, the storms stayed mostly offshore, but it was a lot of flooding near the coast. So let's say you had flood insurance, and let's say your insurance covered everything. It still takes a minute to get your house rebuilt. And even after it's rebuilt enough that you can move in and live in it, it's still not done yet. Because I'm guessing that wherever you were living, you wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible and get back into your own home. So maybe the kitchen wasn't done, or the bathrooms weren't done, or whatever. You just wanted to get in there so you could get out of the place that you were in. So then you have another 6 months or 8 months of construction and people working and the place being torn up, and you get all that done. Oh yeah, see, we even missed a little bit right there. Okay, I thought I had everything set just right, but we still missed a little. Okay, so I guess what I'm saying is it might take 2 years from having lost your house completely. It might take 2 years of really kind of pain in the ass living to get everything put back together. And now here comes another hurricane, and there are people that have lost their house that they just got sorted out after Matthew. People that have lost their house again. So I'm guessing we are really not picking up here. What is the problem? Is it the angle? Let's try this. Nope. It's on. Does it need to be higher? Does it need to be lower? Let's see. There we go. No. See, it's still picking up. Oh, it could be because it's putting in silage. I don't know. Silage additive. I don't know. It's a tricky mod. So we're not going to go too much further. I'll just go down here and we'll do part of this row and see how much we can get. Anyway, I'm guessing if you ask those folks, hey, you want to trade? You can have your house back and all your stuff, but there's going to be some garbage in the street for a few days. I'm guessing most of those people would take you up on that. You know, so it's, I guess for me anyway, it's really important to maintain perspective. It's so easy for me to lose perspective. Right? We seem to be doing better now. We're getting it all. It's really easy for me to lose perspective, and I really try not to, because I think, for me anyway, losing perspective, you can really start to take yourself and your problems too seriously and really forget that there are other people that have much worse problems today than you're having. So, yeah, I mean, for what that's worth. And, well, I guess we can do that too. because let me get turned around here. If you've been watching the channel, you know that the channel is about, I guess, maybe a little bit more than sim gaming. You know, you don't, like, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to describe this implement that we're sort of struggling with. Drive over a row here. But I'm not role-playing, and I talk about things other than gaming and other than the sim that we're in. Wow, we didn't get any of that. Oh, it's because we didn't have the pickup down. I'm smart. So, you know, as I've looked at other channels, I know there are a lot of channels where, for lack of a better word, people are like yelling and putting on funny voices, and there's a ton of energy, but it seems like something that's for children, you know? And, you know, I've been to a lot of channels where people are really negative. Why are we fighting this thing? What is the, what's the malfunction? Come on, get in there. Nope. It just really doesn't like that row. I don't know. Anyway, that's our forage wagon. So we'll get this parked up. I'm going to leave this here. I'll come back and fill it later. But let's go hop in our forage harvester, which is the fun one that I want to play with. So, I've been to channels where people are really like sour and just complaining about everything, and they're doing a live stream and they're like yelling at their guests, and then like 20 minutes into the live stream, they'll just say, you know, I can't take this anymore. And then it just goes to a black screen. And it's like, man, is that a put on? Like, are you trying to be in character or something? Or are you just like a rage monster? What is going on with you? So I think for me, what I want the channel to be is definitely about gaming. I love gaming, but also, I don't know, man. There's other stuff to talk about, and there's stuff to talk about while we game as well. So check this out. Those are dynamic hose connections. I don't know if you would ever tow a tipper directly behind a forage harvester. You can. You certainly can. You know, I don't know. You want to do it? Let's do it. So we will unhook that. We will carefully drive around our forage harvester. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm not a kid. I think about societal stuff. I think about philosophical stuff. I think about technology other than gaming. I think about all kinds of stuff. So I don't know why I wouldn't talk about that, because essentially what I'm doing when I'm gaming and when I'm talking to you, what I'm doing is I'm doing the same thing that I would do if I was gaming with my friends. It's the same stuff we talk about, and maybe it's the same for you as well. Right, so check this out. When we hook up, we get our dynamic hoses. I don't know, man. So, we're going to pipe out. Okay. We're going to go here. Do we need to unfold this thing? We certainly do. And then we go back here. I'm going to shift down one gear. Turn it on. What do we want for speed? Let's say 5 miles an hour. There we go. All right. Here we go. So yeah, this is the stuff that I talk about with people when I'm gaming. This is the stuff that I think about all the time. So yeah, man, that's one of the things that I heard early on when I was first thinking about starting a YouTube channel. Is I heard so many people say, don't try to do or be anything. Don't try to beat the algorithm. Don't try to game the statistics. Just do what you want to do, and you will find an audience. There's all kinds of stuff on YouTube. You can find the strangest channels that have like millions and millions of hits, and you think, man, what kind of a lunatic would watch that? Well, apparently a lot of lunatics would watch that. you know, and that's cool. So what I heard that made the most sense to me is just do what you do, and people who want to see you doing it will find you. So yeah, man, it is sim gaming. It is definitely sim gaming. You know, I love sim gaming, but it's also you know, other stuff. So if you're down with that, I hope you come back and check out a ton of my videos. And if you're not down with that, no hard feelings, you know. But that's what the channel is going to be. Right. Making a big turn. I think it's going to be okay. This is a decent hill. I mean, we're not full yet, but this thing is getting heavy. Auto save. Thank you very much. So, yeah, man. And I'm trying to think what else is going on. What else is going on? Gaming-wise. Oh, what? I thought there was something else I was going to tell you. I can't remember. Oh, I do remember now. So, Oxygen David, who is one of my favorite map makers, along with Bullet Bill, that has done Lone Oak and Colborough Park and the West Coast, and Lancyboi, that's made this map, Maplewood, that we're on, and he did, is it, Selby Farm for 2015? No, that's for 2017. It just didn't get converted over to Seasons. And then I guess my third favorite map maker is Oxygen David, who made Oakfield, and there was another one. Can't think of it right now, but there's another map he made. Very, very good map. Anyway, he released another map. I want to say it's called Shamrock Valley, and it looks like a UK style map, a British map. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to play it at all. I didn't even download it, not even for my own personal use. I just don't have time. I've got 3 maps going right now. We're coming up on the end of FS17. And I just don't have time for any, it's going to sound weird to say, but I don't have time for like personal gaming. All my gaming right now, literally all of it, is for the channel. And I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's gaming. I love gaming. But I don't do any gaming just for me. I don't, there's nothing, there are no sims that I'm in right now that I'm not putting on the channel. And so my YouTube schedule sort of determines what I play and when. But I'm not, yeah, if it's not on the channel, if it's not on the schedule, I'm not able to play it. I just don't have time. So I thought about it, but I wouldn't have time to do it off camera, and we don't have room for a 4th map on camera. And the 3 maps that we do have going right now, none of them are at a place where I could reasonably like just cut it off. So that is one thing that's going on. I'm also, you know, as I'm looking at my analytics and seeing like who watches, you know, what kind of videos that I post, I noticed that the truck videos seem to be doing a little better. And we only do 2 of those a week, and then we do 4 farm per week. And I was thinking, well, shoot, instead of doing 1 truck sim on Saturday and 1 on Monday, why don't I do 2 on Saturday and 2 on Monday like I do with the farms? And then I thought, that's a problem, because now we're up to 8 videos in 4 days, plus something on Wednesday, which will most likely be spin tires for the time being, and then 2 race sims on Friday, MotoGP and F1, and then another race sim on Sunday. So you're talking about like 12 or 13 or 14 videos a week. And I'm mindful, I never would have thought this before I started doing the channel, but I'm mindful of spamming you. And as I've been reading about like different kinds of channels, there are channels where, particularly for like brand new games, you know, people who get pre-release games and play them and do like a total walkthrough, and they'll literally post like 5 or 6 episodes per day for 4 or 5 days till they've played through the entire game in just a few days. And that works on those kinds of channels, but I couldn't imagine doing 4 or 5 videos per day. I mean, I couldn't physically imagine like how or where I would get the time to do that. But even if I did have the time to do that, I can't imagine like that would work for you, like as an audience. That it's just too much. So I'm mindful of like the spamming thing. But then it's like, well, okay, we know that that's too much, but how much is just right? So I'm thinking about going to 1 episode per day maximum, which means we would do 1 farm on Tuesday and 1 farm on Thursday instead of 2 and 2. So that's one thing. And then the other thing would be 1 race sim on Friday, right? You see what I mean? So we'd trim it from there it is. We would trim it from, you know, the 10 or 11 videos per week that we're doing now. We would trim it, 7 or 8 videos per week that we're doing now down to 5 or 6 or 7, I guess. So you see what I'm saying. But I guess I'm asking you, let me know how many videos per day you want from me. Do you want 1? Do you want 2? Do you want less than 1? You know, is 3 or 4 a week enough? So I'm open to whatever's going to work best for you. And I could do 2 per day, but it just feels excessive. It just feels like, man, that's a lot of videos to be sending your way. So let me know. I'm easy. So we're going to take this over, and I think, you know what? It's just right close by. So let's take this over, drop it off, and come back, see how we're doing on time. And I may take those bales over and just drop the whole trailer off. I may not. We'll find out when we get there. Right. Making our turn. There we go. And yep, I think that's about it. I think that's everything I had for you. You know what's weird is when I'm steering this thing, it looks like I'm steering with the keyboard. And having a lot of chair time in all those race sims, what I realize is there's a lot of settings on steering in racing sims to give you just the feel that you want. There's speed and sensitivity and linearity and saturation and gamma and everything else. And you don't really get any of those in Farm Sim. I mean, it's not a racing sim. I guess you don't need that amount of precision. But when you're on a gamepad, the wheel really kind of jerks and bounces around. Even when you have the sensitivity turned, as I do, turned down somewhat. So I'm going to turn off my beacons for one thing. I'm pretty sure I know where the bunker is over here. But I'm going to walk over and just confirm that I'm going to the right place before I get in here. And I think it's right here. And yep, sure is. Okay. So we'll get this dropped off, and we'll head back over to our grass fields, and then it just takes a minute to get here, so I think we will bring that bale trailer over. All right. Drone cam. All of our animals are okay as well. I did check before I started recording, and they're all doing good. And I think, I don't know if we'll still be doing grass work next episode. If we are, I'm not opposed to using the forage harvester the way we traditionally do, which would be to put this tractor and this tipper on follow me and set it up to just ride along beside the forage harvester. So at that point, we will have done it both ways. We will have done it with the tipper directly connected to the forage harvester, and also with the tractor towing it alongside. I gotta close my door. Come on. There. Nope. Nope. Uh-oh. There it goes. No idea what was going on there. Always exciting. And it looks like we're coming up on 30 minutes, so this will be just about half an hour, and that is perfect. There you go. Right. Between Gearbox and more realistic, I have to say, it really slows the game down and makes it feel a lot more like driving a tractor. None of that like instant acceleration to 60 miles per hour stuff. And I have to say, I definitely prefer it. I hope they have some options in FS17 for the driving to be a bit more realistic. And I specifically say options because I know some people don't want that. And I know a lot of kids play this game and they just want to kind of sandbox around and have a good time, and that's awesome, good for them. But to have the option of more realistic driving if you want it, I think that would be cool. Don't know if they'll do that, but if they did, that would be great. All right, so we're going to take this in and park it next to our forage harvester carefully. I don't think I've hit anything this episode. It's a miracle. Right. So park that right there. Set the brake. And we're going to run over here and hop in our other 7R. Take these bales over. Then that'll be it. Yeah, you like that neat stacking? Oh, it's stacking all right. Now, I just said I haven't bumped anything yet. And that'll be when I bump something. Carefully. Carefully. Beautiful. All right. There you go. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017 from Maplewood. We'll see you next time. Take care now.